All right, finished up preparation. A couple of announcements. First of all, Lewis Nix had surgery today to repair a meniscus that has been troublesome for him. He'll get a chance to address you folks when I'm done and talk about his incredible run here at Notre Dame. But suffice to say that he battled through this knee injury and just could not answer the bell. So again, Dr. Radigan performed surgery today and repaired that meniscus. We did another PRP treatment as well. He's up moving around, and again, very disappointing for him. But again, I think what he's done for our program and what he's battled through has been, we'll remember him as a great teammate and what he's tried to accomplish here these past few weeks and trying to get out on the field. And we all know what he's accomplished in helping us, build our success on the field. As for our other guys that are banged up, they battled through the week, and I think in particular we're talking about Kona, Schwenke, Jerron Jones, Isaac Rochelle, Ishak Williams, all practiced this week at varying degrees. They will all participate, and we'll hope for the best and try to get as much as we can out of them on Saturday. But they're all game. They're all anxious to contribute in the best way they can. Guys had a great week of practice. Really liked the focus, the intensity. Liked the way we finished up this week, especially today. So all very positive from my perspective in terms of, you can't expect to win unless you prepare the right way, and our guys did a great job preparing this week for BYU. So with that, I'll open it up to, I'm sure you've got some questions.
Brian, I'm assuming, but just want to get confirmation from you that this ends his season.
Yeah, he's done for the season.
Okay, available for bowl game?
No, he would not be available for bowl game either.
And when did you or him or whoever reached this decision? When did you say, boy, it's just too much?
We had workouts last week. Thursday, we ran him on the Woodways, and it was problematic. I mean, he was sore. He was trying to get through it the best he could, and I think it was pretty apparent there that it was easy to discern at that point that we needed to get another MRI. We got another MRI, and although it didn't show that it was at a point where we did further damage, we just felt at that point that it was in his best interest that it get taken care of.
What has he meant, Brian, to this program?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. We could talk about a lot of things. On the field, his competitive spirit, just a great competitor. He's also that marquee defensive lineman that Notre Dame has not had in a long time. That physical presence on the defensive line that I think was talked about a lot when I got here that Notre Dame couldn't get, and so I think he's set a great precedent in the sense that you can get those players to Notre Dame and they can succeed. He's going to have his degree here, and I think he's meant a lot both on and off the field from that perspective.
He's sort of, I guess, danced around the whole fifth-year thing. Is it safe to assume that he'll be declaring for the NFL draft, that his career at Notre Dame is over now?
Yeah, I think I'll let him speak to that. We're, again, so focused on the immediate in terms of preparing for the team that I have not really asked him that point blank question. But again, I think, you know, he's certainly weighing all of his options. And again, we'll give him all of the information necessary for him to make the best decision. And I know his mom is here this week, and I'm sure this is probably the time, Pete, that they'll probably do some serious, you know, consideration on that.
And I guess just without him, just kind of sort of go back to Kona, how confident are you that he can sort of?
Well, he's not 100%.
Okay.
Jerron Jones will have to play a lot in there. Jerron's had a great week. Really pleased with his practice. You know, Kona's going to give it all he has. He really wants to play. It's important to him to play, and he's going to play. How much we can get out of him, we'll see. But Jerron has done a great job this week.
Any other options at that position?
It'll be Jerron, Kona, and we'll get whatever we can get out of him, and hopefully Kona can give us as much as he can, and then Tyler Stockton. Those will be the three guys right now.
I'm sorry, one second late. Was it the tendonitis, the meniscus, or the combination?
I think it was the combination of the two. The meniscus needed to get repaired. That's the that was the source of the you know, the immediate, you know, inflammation. So a combination of that. We worked out hard last week, and I think it was just, you know, we just came to the realization that he's tried really hard to make it work the best he could, and it just couldn't go.
Nick Martin talked, I guess on the good side of the injury ledger, like he just had a boo-boo, that there was not, you know, he didn't have a broken hand. Were you surprised at how well he kind of moved through that?
At first, yes, but then it's Nick Martin. You know, he's, you know, that family, Nick and Zach Martin, are pretty unique. They are, they're tough-minded kids. They they make it seem like it's nothing, but it's a pretty significant injury that he's fighting through, and he did a really good job this week of doing the things necessary. But it's a real injury that he's working through, and he had a good week of practice.
Ryan Nix is a lot better than any rallying point you could get, but I assume his defensive line mates are really rallying around him in this situation with senior day and the disappointment that he's not playing.
I think there's definitely that element there that you know, Lewis, along with all the seniors, you know, it's important that they finish their last home game with a win. The last three senior classes have. They're aware of that, and they certainly want that, and Lewis is part of that. So I think, you know, wanting to win for the seniors, and in particular that, you know, him not being able to play, I think adds to that. You know, you have Danny Spond also, who's not playing as a senior. You know, Jalen Smith is going to be wearing Danny Spond's number on Saturday in a manner to thank him for his mentorship this year. So, you know, there's a lot of that where you know, a lot of the young guys are really indebted to this senior group for their leadership.
And switching gears to kind of on the field, their tempo when it gets rolling, does it put you in a position where your dime package is tough to get on the field, your corners play field boundary, do they have to stay right, left? Is that all something that you kind of had to work on this week? Or?
Sure. Yeah, I think you know, their tempo is clearly set up for you know, keeping situational substitution at a minimum. Certainly, you know, incomplete passes, you know, allow you to get personnel in and out of the, you know, the game. But no, there will be times where, you know, we'll have to, you know, match up with our regular personnel on the field. You know, but on the other hand, you know, they've had over 53 and outs. You know, so, you know, we feel like, you know, on both ends, you know, we have to be prepared for that tempo.
brought up the Martin family. I think Zach will tie Notre Dame's record
Yeah.
for most consecutive starts this weekend.
Yeah.
Is there stuff that he's played through and been through that kind of exemplified that toughness?
Yeah, and I think that that we don't talk about it on a day-to-day basis is probably the story. You know, here's a guy who's going to tie the record for the most consecutive starts, but he's played through a myriad of shoulders and knees and ankles and elbows, but yet he just keeps playing. And I'm not saying a lesser guy would be, you know, out of the lineup, but his mental and physical toughness is off the charts. I mean, that's why he's, you know, he's going to have a long career in the NFL. He's a guy that he's not going to come out of the lineup.
With Lewis, you mentioned a few weeks ago that he would eventually need knee surgery. Was that something that got worse over the past couple of weeks, or was he just trying to put that off as long as he could?
Well, we were trying to put it off. You know, we felt like it was something that you know, again, each situation is different relative to, you know, we probably got about, I don't know, half dozen guys that are going to need surgery after the season. That's fairly typical, you know, in most football programs, that some guys are going to need some surgery after the season. How your body responds, training from week to week, you know, some need that attention immediately. And in this instance, it just got to the point where, you know, Lou really tried to fight through it the best he could, and he just, you know, it was such that he was not going to be able to play at a level that was going to help the team, and he did not want to hurt the team.
Who are the rest of those guys at this point?
Oh, there's a number of guys. I couldn't tell you who they are. I mean, we're going to have probably 2 or 3 shoulder guys. You know, we're going to have a couple of guys that are going to get scoped. But it's normal kind of end of the year, you know, post surgeries that you have, you know, in a long season.
Will Lewis still be able to take the walk out to midfield?
Yes.
I know that was important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. He'll be able to do that. And, you know, we kind of contemplated whether we would have the surgery today, you know, based upon that. But he's up, and you'll see him here in a little bit. He should be over here in a few minutes. He'll get a chance to talk to you. And you know, but that was certainly one of his concerns, that he wanted to make sure he was able to walk out with his mom. It was very important to her and to him.
Brian, I know you're having the quarterbacks on your radio, so I'm giving you a free promo.
Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
very kind of you.
I'm curious though, Malik's one of the guys that you're going to have, and we haven't talked to him in a long time. I'm just wondering what you feel like he's gotten out of this year, and are you happy that you haven't had to play him to this point?
Quite honestly, without sugarcoating it and cutting to it, I wanted to redshirt. I wanted a quarterback that was going to be a fifth-year guy. And throughout it all, we wanted that more than anything else. And we're going to get that with Malik.
And what do you feel like he's pulled out of this year? I mean, started it with the mono.
I took him on every trip. He got to see the different venues. He got to see the pregame and the atmospheres across the country. He's really gotten a chance to see what it's like to prepare on the road. You know, really give him that sense of what it's like and the preparation necessary to be the starting quarterback here. He's been in every meeting. He did not go down on scout team for 1 second. He's been involved in every game planning session. He just hasn't taken the reps, which he'll get a ton of reps when we break and get into the spring. So gave him everything that we could give him and got him that quote unquote redshirt year.
And just the last thing on that line is, you know, there are people that say, would Brian have been better to play him a little bit just in case something happens to Everett next year as far as an injury? Would he have been better off, or do you think he can be as good or better not having played and been just part of things?
And I'm not being cute, but that's assuming that you know, Everett's the starter, right?
That's assuming Everett's a starter.
Right. You know, we think that there's going to be very good competition for that position with him. So certainly, you know, those two young men, and then you know, we have to sit down with Andrew and find out, you know, where we're going to go there. You know, we have to have a conversation with Andrew, and then you know, find out where we move from there. But those two guys and then Andrew, you know, really that's what we're talking about right now for the three quarterbacks.
We good?
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
All righty.